Conflict in the northeast region has resulted in a huge gap in access to healthcare facilities. In Borno State, close to 60% of healthcare facilities were destroyed, resulting to over 1 million people losing access to healthcare services. Covering the healthcare needs of the vulnerable has continued to be of grave concern to many. Today, the state governor is presenting a check of over 200 million naira to all primary healthcare centers across the state. He tasks all facility managers and coordinators to be dedicated to their responsibility by ensuring quality service delivery to the people.
Most of the funding that goes into the facilities are not well known to the local government channel. And I believe even some of the primary healthcare coordinators are not aware. Government, under my leadership, continue to provide the assistance needed at the primary healthcare. The cardinal objective of any administration is to ensure that lives and properties of the citizens are being protected.
The governor's gesture is well appreciated by coordinators of benefiting healthcare facilities and assured of their commitment in improving the healthcare delivery to the people.
This is a testament to our determination to improve the healthcare system in Borno State, and for which we are immensely grateful to His Excellency. These resources will go a long way in enhancing our primary and secondary healthcare facilities.
National Health Act has spelled it out clearly that no patient should be rejected because they don't have finances for whatever reason when they appear in the hospital, especially in the 24 to 48 hours.
Shortly after the presentation, Governor Babagana Zulum directed the 27 local council chairmen to manage the primary healthcare centers in their domain and ensure optimal services. The non-kinetic approach by the military in its fight against insurgency has continued to yield positive results. About 162,000 insurgents and their victims have willingly handed themselves over to the Nigerian government. As their de-radicalization and reintegration programs continue, discussions on the issue takes center stage.
Their leaders actually they give them false meaning and the interpretation of the Quran, of which, you know, they are already used to it. Before you have to react to what they are saying, you know, you have to use the Quranic interpretation, the good Quranic interpretation.
Community groups insist that there is a chance to undermine the gains made in peace building without significant economic possibilities and support networks.
By coming together, we can ensure that the wounds of the past are healed and that our communities are united in their pursuit of a brighter future. Through the implementation of the CBRR policy, popularly known as the Borno Model for Peace, Reconciliation and Development, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all our partners, especially the UNDP, who is the implementing partners for this particular activity through the Regional Stabilization Facility for Lake Chad Basin.
There is need for government to step up and provide, full, access to our farmlands.
This one-day training on reconciliation and reintegration explains practical ways on how best to bridge the gap of understanding between communities and former insurgents. As conversations across communities continue, all the party want is for lasting peace to thrive. A recent report by the World Food Programme indicates that conflict in the northeast region has resulted to about 4.4 million people facing food crisis. Most displaced people who are livestock farmers have lost their means of livelihoods due to shortage of feeds. But the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations wants to scale up livestock farming. It has organized training for government and partner extension staff across the Northeast region on alternative feed fodder production.
There is now inconsistency in the availability of feed, especially during the lean season. But with these techniques that are going to learn, it will ensure all year round availability of the feed.
This training is really an essential step towards ensuring sustainable livestock production devoid of these clashes between farmers and herders. Enough and quality livestock feeds, which is a very important input toward livestock production and sustainability of livestock, is very, very essential and critical.
According to FAO, pasture development is essential for livestock production as it significantly impacts animal health, productivity and sustainability of farming system.
Now it's a very valuable feed source. It can be crushed and add some value to feed your livestock. Also, the use of hydroponics, which is a new area, is also a very good source of alternative feed to our livestock.
The training is expected to go a long way in enhancing livestock farming in the region. Others hold are government officials, lawyers, representatives of development partners and security operatives. They are here to chart a way forward on how best to promote access to justice for children who are the most vulnerable in conflict-affected areas.
We stand committed to contributing to this initiative, contributing to this very noble initiative, supporting the state government in implementing the Reimagine Justice for Children agenda, which speaks principally to protect children. And I'm very happy here we have a Borno state child protection law.
The state government on its part announces plan to establish a children's justice forum to ensure the implementation of the child law and transition of social and criminal justice.
The Sangaya structure is a structure that worked for us even before the advent of Western education. It has worked for our community and is still working for our community, and we are known for this. But then, what do we need to do? We need to make it work in a better way. This is our plan. We will make it work in a better way that other states will look up to us and say, oh, okay, this Almajiri structure is working, and let's copy from this model.
The Almajiri child is everybody's business. Let's all come together to ensure that we protect these children. Lord, let's not leave it to the government alone. The government alone cannot do it.
Stakeholders at the meeting stressed the need for effective collaboration between government, security operatives, and development partners to protect the rights of children. The workshop sought to co-construct work plans on key interventions that facilitate timely legal assistance to children and modulates for children protections and justice.
Actually, if I will start listing projects that Zulum has done that has impacted me and the common man, it is uncountable. But one thing I know that has impacted the common man to the grassroots level is the introduction of mass transit and then the electric taxi within the metropolis. You know, actually with the removal of fuel subsidy, life has become very, very challenging to the common man. But to be sincere, the Zulum's buses and taxis have really touched the common man to the extent that almost everyone is saying, go to the grassroots and ask. Everyone is saying that it is one of the things that a common man knows that there is governance around. Because people think that government is not something that has to do with the common man. But this transportation aspect alone has changed the narrative. Now that everyone has been impacted, not only the masses, even wealthy individuals now park their cars and follow the Zulum buses.
Governor Professor Babagana Zulum for his effort, because I'm living in Polo, that is Polo High Court. But to my surprise, when I'm about to go to school, I saw a bus there near High Court. Then they are even calling me that the motor is 50 naira, which of sometime in the morning when I'm going to work, I used to pay 200, 300 naira to my destination. But to my surprise today, I pay 50 naira. And now I'm returning from my work now, going to Polo again, and I'm paying 50 naira. What I will tell our Oga, that is Professor Babagana Zulum, we are very grateful because of his effort. More effort, more elbow to his work. We pray that God will comfort him, God will be with him, and also our God will give him a prosperity life so that he can continue to upgrade this effort that he has done. So we are very, very grateful. We are saying thank you very much.
Every citizen of Borno would acknowledge that yes, there is a government in the state. This government is all about service delivery and good governance. We have witnessed quite a reasonable and unquantifiable service delivery in terms of physical as well as policies geared to improve the lots of the citizen. For me, if I'm to take one, certainly I will say the governor's commitment to service delivery and people-centered governance. This has been a hallmark of Governor Zulum. However, to talk on the structures put in place, the year 2023 witnessed remarkable improvement in the provision of health facilities, ensuring that citizens have access to affordable and accessible healthcare delivery. Education, we all know that before now how the Boko Haram incidents has been a problem to us, and what they were saying, Western education is taboo. the governor is on his own to ensure that he has revived the education sector, to ensure future development of citizens. Not forgetting our brothers and sisters who are that were displaced by the insurgency and the governor's commitment, moving irrespective of weather, time, and hard-to-reach locations to provide succor to citizens in terms of humanitarian support and giving them that hope that yes, they have something in the future to do, taking them or making them understand that the hopelessness of this Boko Haram will soon be over, and giving hope and livelihood support to ensure that they pick up their pieces and then continue with life as it used to be. Restoration of peace in Borno, people can attest that yes, peace has gradually returned to Borno. People go about their normal life. For somebody coming out of the country, out of the state, only feels about Borno, you look at it from a different perspective. But when you come here, you will begin to wonder if at all this is the Borno people have been talking about outside the state. Life has returned. And then the last 4.5 years of Governor Zulum, there were remarkable improvement in terms of structures, infrastructure. If you come into the state capital, you certainly know that there is a governance, there is a government in place, which means Zulum is working. And people have been attesting to it. We appreciate the support they've been giving to the government, understanding his style of leadership, what he means by service delivery and good governance. I can talk on and on and on, but the truth is that in the last 4.5 years of Governor Zulum in Borno State, there's a remarkable improvement in terms of all aspects of human endeavor.
The governor has been a humanitarian governor even before the removal of the subsidy, and I am proud to say that my governor was the first governor that began the distribution of food palliatives, and again he was the first governor who launched the mass transit so that he could ease the means of transportation, especially to the farmers, which by everybody knows the people of Borno are mostly farmers, especially the masses. Everybody's seen how he has given them free transport so that this will help them to go to their farm and also make them to cultivate their crops back home successfully.
For us, he's the only governor because he's someone that has the political will. He has the commitment, and most importantly, he has his people at heart. And if you combine these three elements, there is no way you will not get somebody like His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum. Now, as a member of his cabinet, you have no option but to support him, because you have a leader that is leading by example. You have someone that does not sleep. So who are you to go and sleep? You have someone that is so compassionate, so caring about the security situation, about the agricultural situation, about resettlement, about reconciliation, about reintegration, about educating the girl child. Who am I, as a mere commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development, that I will not support him? It's the paradigms are already on ground. There's a benchmark. So if you don't key into what Professor Babagana Zulum is doing, you are already a failure. You understand? So the leadership, the political will, the commitment, the dedication, and compassion for everyone in Borno State leaves us with no option. We are on standby 24/7. There is no commissioner that you say, it's weekend, it's after 6. That does not exist in our agenda, because your principal is someone that leads by example. And so it is compulsory. It is a must that we must employ all the strategies, all the energy that exists in us to ensure that the 10-pact agenda, the 25-year development plan, the 10-year strategic plan of Borno State works. As a Commissioner for Women Affairs, poverty must be brought to zero. Our girls must go to school, both within and outside Nigeria. People living with disabilities must be given their chance to survive, to exist. Children must benefit. They must have rights to education, rights to shelter, right to good health. And that is why the child rights law has been domesticated in Borno State. And that is why the VAP law is well implemented. We have removed the stigma that is associated with being a victim of rape. We have had so many, over 600 convictions of people that have raped from across the state in the last couple of years. And this is because the culture of silence is no more. Speak out. The governor's wife is our ambassador. She leads. We have gender desks in all the police stations. We are having maximum support from the traditional rulers. The religious leaders are supporting us because our leader is in the forefront.
For one, he's a professor. For two, he came from a very humble beginning and he saw how education became a catalyst for him to reach these heights. And education is a key sector. It's the fundamental of human capital development. Every developed society has a good literacy index. So I believe these are reasons enough for him to invest massively in the education sector. His Excellency has returned 15 rural schools, and more than the 10 mega schools out of the 30 commissioned were all in rural areas. And that has created significant access to children who were in that community who initially did not have access to school. When you go back to those communities, you will now see the presence of schooling, which was not there before. You see, the governor is at the strategic level. He gives the directives. We at the operational level, ours is to implement the directives. So we would ensure that we work on his vision and the focus to see that education is given to the less privileged child, qualitative education. And this is part of our pillar in our 25-year development plan and our 10-pact agenda. So we shall key into it and ensure that this is achieved.
At the bottom of my heart, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of you that voted us into another phase of public service. Again, I commit to making sure that we shall work 100% for the benefit of all residents of Borno State, regardless of political, ethnic, and religious aspirations. I want to assure you, the people of Borno State, that the victory you have granted us will neither make us arrogant, nor will it make us to take you for granted.
And that's our package on this episode of Borno Restoration. Many thanks for watching. I am Jesse Tafida. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Akiwande Oluwole Soyinka was born on 13th July 1934 in Abeokuta, Nigeria, to parents Samuel and Grace Soyinka. His education began with the Christian lessons of his parents as well as the more traditional Yoruba spiritual customs taught to him by his grandfather. He had his preparatory university studies at Government College Ibadan in 1954, subsequently University College Ibadan, and he continued